Hey guys and girls, I'm James and welcome to the channel. Today we are taking a look at the Potensic Atom SE. Maybe one of the most important drones I've ever looked at on this channel, because this channel is mainly about budget beginner drones. Drones that someone's looking at to buy for their first drone and they want to get the most value for the money and they want it to check a lot of boxes because there's some really bad budget beginner drones out there. But this one is at the price of a budget beginner drone, but it has the features of one that's much more expensive. Let me explain. So first of all, it comes with a really nice bag. I mean, a very professional bag with a nice case, multiple batteries. It doesn't take a charger. It's got intelligent batteries. You can plug them straight in. It's got a 4K camera. It's not a Wi-Fi drone. In other words, you don't hook it up to the Wi-Fi of your phone and you have a limited range of about 300 meters. This thing hooks up to the Potensic app and can fly about 2.5 miles. It's got very powerful batteries. Matter of fact, I got this thing up to 37 miles an hour with a little bit of a tailwind. I've never got over 27 miles an hour with the DJI Mini, and that's what this drone's main competition is. So the DJI Mini SE comes at $299. This one's $299, but it's $50 off, and with my discount code, it's $234. But that's with the extra batteries and a really nice bag. And I've seen some of the other reviews and they say, but the DJI Mini SE comes with a 3-axis gimbal, and this one's a 1-axis gimbal, so it only goes up and down. So it's going to take really good photos, but when the drone gets in the wind, you're going to get a tilt in the horizon. Well, that's never bothered FPV drones because some people kind of like that cinematic look. And it's a lot less expensive, and you get the bag and you get the multiple batteries. And you get a really nice drone that's got a lot of power, really good flight time, very powerful batteries, great camera, and really good interface with the app, way above most budget beginner drones at this price point. Also, I really love the controller. It slides out and your phone kind of fits in the center and it's rechargeable. Another thing too, this drone has waypoints. DJI's never put waypoints on a drone that doesn't have obstacle avoidance, and this doesn't have obstacle avoidance, but it will still follow you, circle you, and do waypoint missions. Now be really careful when you're doing waypoint missions with the drone without obstacle avoidance. You gotta, and we'll get into that when I'm flying it into the final review. Also, it's not geofenced like DJI drones are. Now, I'm not encouraging you to go out and break the law. But if you get somewhere, this drone will take off anywhere with the DJIs. You gotta go get your Lance to fly legally. Still want you to fly legally. I'm just telling you, this one's not geofenced. Also, it's sub 250, which is so important. That means you don't have to register it with the FAA. But next year, all drones over $250 are gonna have a remote beacon. And so many drones, the budget beginner drones, they're going to have to go spend money and put a big ugly beacon on the top to fly legally. But sub 250 drones don't fall into that category, and this one falls into it. So this is going to be the most important category to buy a drone starting next year. Do I think it's the best sub 250 drone? Of course not. The DJI Mini 3 Pro with the smart controller, to me, is probably the world's most perfect drone so far. But this is $1,000. Some people don't want to spend $1,000, and a lot of people, they've never flown a drone. So they might go out and spend a couple $1,000s, and they're going to come home with something like this because they don't understand the orientation of a drone. Or they may buy a drone and it sits on the shelf. So if you only spend $234 and you've got a really nice drone, this is a great way to start, and it checks the boxes for a lot of people. So we got 50-mile-an-hour winds today, and it's 14 degrees outside. But luckily, I flew this yesterday before the front came in. So let me show you that footage and how great it flew. And then we'll come back and I'll go over the interface with the app, the functions and features of the drone, and then we'll come back for our final review. So let's go put her up in the air. It's rapido too.
Oh yeah.
All right, so this is a GPS drone. What that means is the satellites lock onto the drone and hold it into position. So if you ever get in a panic situation, you just let go of it and it'll stay right there, even in the wind. So it's going to go exactly where you tell it to, versus a non-GPS drone. If the wind gets hold of it, it can carry it away. I'd say it's real important to get your micro mini drone first to learn the orientation of it. Here's some pictures that it took. The camera, again, is fantastic. It's a 4K camera. These are not color edited. So hard to believe you can get these kind of pictures on a drone at this price point. Here's the video, and you'll see some tilt in the horizon when the wind blows. It's not a very windy day. If it was a really windy day, it would be a lot worse. But if you're a good pilot and you go real slow, especially if you put it in cinematic mode, I think it's called camera mode, it's going to turn really slow and you're going to get some really good footage. It's a 1-axis gimbal, so you can point it down like this to get a straight down shot. So I haven't been real familiar with the Potensic brand. I did have the Breeze a few years ago. I actually still have that drone, and I did have one of their mini drones. But this is the first drone I think they put out that is really good for the consumer, especially the person looking for their first drone who wants to get these kind of shots, wants a really nice camera, extra batteries, and a really good app. This interface with this app, look, it's even telling me that I'm flying too low to be into sport mode, and I think it'll eventually kick it back into normal mode. And overall, the app couldn't be any better at any price point. It gives me everything that I need to know. It's got return to home that shows me that I'm hooked up to the GPS, which direction I'm going, how many satellites I have. I'm recording in 430 HD, and it shows that I have 93% battery left. And what I really like is it shows me exactly how much time I have left on the battery. If you look in the right-hand corner right now, it's at 21 minutes and 34 seconds. So here's what happens when you click the camera, and it'll take it to the GPS, and it'll show you exactly where the drone is. You can also follow a line and it'll come back to you. So here I'm going to do the follow me. If you're doing this, make sure you're above everything else around you. Again, this does not have obstacle avoidance. And the circle me, the same. And I wouldn't do waypoints with the drone that doesn't have obstacle avoidance. I've crashed a few of these drones trying to do that. That's why DJI has never put waypoints or autonomous missions on a drone that does not have obstacle avoidance. But it does all of them really good. And you can go into settings and you can set how fast you want it to do the circle and how big you want the circle to be on the circle me. That's really nice to know. The more I flew this drone, the more I just learned to have confidence in it. Usually when you're at this price point, they're kind of quirky and they have some things you got to work out. But this drone really performed flawlessly in everything that it did. I was really excited. It was almost too fast. I'll show that to you in a minute. Just love the app, love everything about it. It just reminds me of flying a drone that's 2 to 3 times this. So this is going to be a great drone for someone that wants to get their first drone but doesn't want to break the bank. And at any point, if you start to panic, you can just hit return to home and it comes back and it lands within a couple feet of where it took off. So when you take off, make sure you're in an area that's kind of wide open. So now we're going to see how fast it is. That's 26 miles an hour in normal mode. Yeah. But I knew it was a lot faster than that, so I went into sport mode and we got 37 miles an hour. Now that was coming downwind just 37. A little bit, but the DJI Mini, 37. The most I ever got was 27, so that's a really fast drone in sport mode. Kind of blown away by how fast it is. So as a beginner, don't do these things. Don't try the autonomous flight features. Just fly the drone until you can get used to flying it. And you'll understand that the satellite is holding its position. There's no latency in the controls. And as you can see right here, it rocks back and forth really well. Very easy to control, very fast. So let's go inside, we'll sit down and we'll go over the interface with the app and all the functions of the drone. If you want to, you can flip it over and it'll kill the props. All right, check out the band that comes on this thing. It doesn't have a gimbal guard, but this works pretty good. Velcro's on, keeps everything really safe when you put it into a really nice bag. I mean, this bag is first class. I gotta give it to it. It's got really nice steel connectors for the strap, and the strap is adjustable. It's got a zipper compartment in the front. You can put things in, SD cards. It's got a really nice net zipper here you can put stuff in. And it's got the 2 mesh sides right here. That's really nice. It says Potensic on the side. And when you put the drone in there, it's got a little flap that covers it. You put your controller on one side and your batteries and everything go into here. So good on them for making a really nice bag to come with this drone at this price point. Of course, it's foldable. The most wonderful thing about it is it's under 250 grams. So it weighs in exactly the same as the Mini 2. So a lot of y'all are going to say it doesn't have a 3-axis gimbal like the Mini 2. It's only a 1-axis gimbal. So it does just go up and down. It doesn't tilt side to side or it doesn't pan. But it does have image stabilization right here, so that's going to help stabilize it. But that's the same thing with with my FPV drones. I love the footage that these things get because it kind of gives that FPV feel when you're filming and tilt side to side. And with new image stabilization that they have in video editors, you can get some really nice footage with this. It's going to take first-class photos. And as a beginner, without obstacle avoidance, this camera is so exposed. So the first thing that breaks when it hits is this camera. And if you break the gimbal on this camera, this drone's pretty much worthless. At least this one does have some protection on it and around to help it stabilize in case of a crash. It'll take an impact probably a lot better than a 3-axis gimbal. It's got lights on the feet and on the front. Your SD card goes in here. This is where you can plug it in. So they are intelligent batteries, which is really nice. So that you don't need a charging hub or anything like that. You just plug it straight in to the battery right here. On the Mini 2, there's nowhere to charge the battery. You have to put it into the hub or put it into the drone. But at least these, you can have these outside of the drone and you can charge them. And it comes with 2 of the batteries. And they are 2,500 milliwatt amp batteries compared to the 2250s on the DJI Mini 2. And I think the Mini 1 was 1850. So they're really powerful little batteries. And I like the fact that you don't have to flip a door up and to slide them in. That's less to break and less weight. Actually, from the bottom, they look very similar. The optical flow sensors are in the same spot. It's got the same vents. You turn it on the same way by pressing the button and holding it down. It's got the indicator lights for the battery to show you how charged up it is if you hold it. They're both brushless motors. Overall, very similar except for the 3-axis gimbal. Except this one's way faster, like 10 miles an hour faster. And this one has the autonomous features. DJI's never put autonomous features on a drone that does not have optical avoidance. And as I mentioned when I was flying, and if you're gonna fly it, be real careful flying autonomous flight features like follow me and circle me. I wouldn't even do waypoints without optical avoidance. You're just asking for trouble. I really like the look of it better. It looks more like a spaceship. So it does come with extra props. They are labeled. Make sure you get them on the right ones. It comes with a handy dandy screwdriver if you got to change the props and extra screws. It comes with all the different cables that you will need for a fantastic remote. Both of these are really antennas. They're wired. I like that they're adjustable. You kind of don't want to have them all the way back when you're up. You kind of want to have them like this. And I love the feel of it. When that phone's in there, I just really like the feel of this one. It's got the storage for the gimbals in here. Overall, I really like the effectiveness of how it functions. To take a photo, you push this one takes a video, and this is your gimbal. And this is your flight and your return to home and your power. The rest of it's all on the app, but you can fly the drone without the app. You can just fly it with the remote, but you won't be able to see what the camera sees. And it is rechargeable. It does not take batteries. So I flew it with my phone, but let me show you on my iPad the interface with the app. It does come with a really nice instruction booklet. There is no QR code, but it is the Potensic Pro. And it is not a Wi-Fi drone. So as soon as you get the drone turned on and the remote turned on, it will connect to the app. So it's just like a DJI. You press and then hold. Sounds familiar. Press and hold on the remote. And the camera's working. So there's no hooking up to your Wi-Fi or anything like that. Of course, we have a weak signal because we're indoors. It shows that it's connected, ready for takeoff. You have your takeoff button. So right here's where your intelligent flight modes are. The circle flight, the waypoints. I would never use waypoints with the drone without obstacle avoidance, and the follow me. And then you can press here. It shows the map very well. This shows where you are. And if you want to do the waypoints, this is where you can do your waypoint missions. Make sure you're higher than everything else. It shows you how fast you're going, how high you are, and how far away you are. Up here shows how many satellites you have, how good your connection is, how much battery's left, and how much time you have left. I really like that. It shows you have 18 minutes and 34 seconds left of flight time. Reset your home point position. And right here's where you can turn on beginner mode and it'll slow it down. Right here's where you set how high you can go, how far away you can go, and then normal and sport mode. It won't let you go into sport mode unless I think you're more than 8 meters above the ground, and anytime you drop below that, it's gonna go back into normal mode. And of course, video mode is gonna make it go really slow and turn really slow so you can get better videos. And this is where you set your circle fly settings, so how far you want it to go around you and how fast you want it to go, which is really good, and which way you want it to go. Lots of really good customization for a drone of this price. So I'm really impressed with the interface with the app. Everything worked good. There was no latency in the controls. The drone just really performed good. And it's a really good camera. Wake up, Sasha. And it's a really good camera. All right, guys, let's go back for our final review. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review of the Potensic Atom SE. So what do I think about it? You saw how it flew. It flies fantastic. Super fast, 37 miles an hour in sport mode. That's almost too fast. It's got autonomous flight features. It'll follow you, go around you, do waypoint missions. Doesn't have optical avoidance. Doesn't have a 3-axis gimbal, but it'll take really good pictures. And with some light winds, you're gonna get some really nice video. And with the image stabilization in some of these video editors, it can really smooth it all out. And you can do all that for a drone. It's $234 right now. So if you're watching this later, it's not on sale and it's $299. Is it still a better deal than the DJI Mini SE? Well, it's got multiple batteries, autonomous flight features, and a really nice bag. Just doesn't have a 3-axis gimbal. So it's just nice to have options, and it's nice to have all these features available to you on a drone that's not a Wi-Fi drone and that has such good range, speed, great camera, and a lot of flight features.
So, like always, if you got something out of this, please like and subscribe. Subscribers mean everything to me in this channel, and I'll see you in the next one.